I believe if there's no more rebuttals, we have time to get one more question in here. We'll get that from Brian Sears from the Daily Record.
As quick as we can, Maryland's next governor will have the ability to redistrict both congressional and state legislative districts. As governor, would you support an independent commission to do that redistricting, not only with Congress, but with the 47 legislative districts in the General Assembly?
This is an issue where we've got to work with other states to move our country forward. We've had too much partisan redistricting for too long, and both parties are guilty of it. And the way that we move forward is we come together in groups of states and we decide to disarm together to finally get back to a place where our districts make sense, they are contiguous, and people frankly know who their congressman is. Right now in our state, our districts are too gerrymandered. We can improve it. We've got to work with other states to do it.
Ms. Irvin.
I fought very hard against the Democrats' map in 2011. And that didn't make me very popular with Democrats. But moving forward, I would like to see a nonpartisan commission appointed. In Montgomery County, the 3rd congressional district map is one of the most gerrymandered in the entire nation. And it really hurt minority communities in particular on the east side of Montgomery County, and those districts were split up. This is unfair, it's undemocratic, and it should not happen again.
Senator Madaleno.
We need a bipartisan, nonpartisan commission to draw lines for the congressional districts for the General Assembly. I'm the one person up here whose name is actually on bills that do just that. But we need to partner that with campaign finance reform. Having better-looking districts while still allowing the wealthiest amongst us, not just the top 1%, but the top 0.1%, to buy election after election is going to corrupt the process completely. So you need to partner redistricting reform with campaign finance reform.
Mr. Jones.
I totally agree with Ms. Irving, and what she said. So I would not support that effort at all.
Ms. Vignarajah.
When I was a lawyer, I worked on this issue, and I do think it's incredibly problematic that America is really the only developed democracy in the world that allows for politicians to pick their voters instead of voters to pick their politicians. So as governor, I will support a bipartisan commission to address this issue. But the truth is, it is a national issue, and so it's incredibly important knowing that there are many more Republican states that have these salamander-looking districts, that we work in a national approach to address this problem.
Mr. Jaffe.
It ain't going to happen. As long as we have career politicians who want to protect their turf, it's just not going to happen. I'll try, but I'm not going to lie to you.
Mr. Baker.
I supported a bipartisan commission when I was in the legislature, but the points that were made are very well, and that is you don't unilaterally disarm, especially when you got Donald Trump and Larry Hogan in the White House and in the governor's mansion. So we need to make sure that we have a governor that's going to work with the legislature to make sure these districts are fair across the board. And that's what I would do.
Mr. Shea.
We'll make sure Larry Hogan's not there to do it in 2020. I'm in favor of a bipartisan commission to advise the governor and the General Assembly because I think gerrymandering is bad. Let me take the time I have to address single payer quickly. I am in favor of single payer, but on a state-only basis, it won't work. Bernie Sanders' own Vermont and Ben Jealous's own California considered and did not enact a single-state, single-payer system.
Mr. Ross, we have just a little bit of time on redistricting.
Yeah. During all those years that I worked for President Obama, I could tell when I was meeting with a member of Congress if it was somebody from sort of a crazily gerrymandered district versus somebody who actually had to speak to members of the other party. I'm in favor of a redistricting process with integrity, where sometimes, God forbid, Democrats have to talk to Republicans and Republicans have to talk to Democrats. I think it produces better public servants. I think it produces a more respectful politics.
Mr. Jealous, I know you'd like to respond on that issue, but you've used all your rebuttals. I assume there's information on single payer on your website.
That I could respond, that would not count as one of the rebuttals.
We have 10 seconds. We're running out of time.
This state has always been my family's home. We were forced to move because in 1966, it was against the law for my parents to get married. I hope that Jim gets that.